Hello YouTube, it is Chris here, and in today's episode we're going to show you the difference between a survival bag and a hunting bag. Stick with me. Welcome back everybody, and thank you for sticking with me. So like I said, we're going to be discussing the difference between a traditional survival bag, bug out bag, inch bag, and a backpacker's backcountry elk hunting bag. Since I've been training and learning archery, I've noticed with a lot of the backpack hunters, a lot of these packs are built the exact same way as I have my loadout rigged. 85 to 90% of the gear is exactly the same. So we have a special guest today. We're actually going to be using Scott Hamlin. He's getting ready to go on an elk hunting trip, and we're going to be breaking down his bag and my bag and show you guys the similarities and the contrasts to each different loadout.
I'm a backpack hunter. I do pack in for about 4 days at a time, and I'm going to stay, live off the land, basically live off what I can carry, and then I'm going to come back out every fourth day, resupply, and head back out again for another 4. The KUIU pack. I've been using it for 4 years, and you know there are a ton of different packs out there that are really good. You know, Kifaru, Stone Mountain, Mystery Ranch, just to name a few. All great packs. I choose KUIU because of the weight, dry weight. We're under 3 pounds with nothing in it, and which is so far superior to some of the other packs that are out there. I'm telling you, they're all great. Find one that you like and use it. So, but I like this one. It's a 3,200 cubic inch. I can get 4 days out of this pack, which also makes me a little bit more agile. We're going to start in and show you what I got. Of course, the most important thing with an archer is your Allen wrenches. Gotta have them. Here I have waterproof matches, paracord, which we use for a ton of different items, hanging up tarps, hanging up game bags after we've killed, of course. I think that everybody needs their GPS. I don't go fancy on this. I need it for one reason and one reason only, making sure that I can get from point A to point B as safe as possible. Fire starter. Tons of different ways to do this. I prefer just to go out and buy. This is called a wet fire. It's very inexpensive. I don't care how wet it is, it'll light a fire. There's a lot of other products out there that work real well, even home-based products like dryer lint. Extra batteries. A neat item. This is a Gerber Saw. As you can see, it's extremely lightweight. I think it weighs less than 4 ounces. Blade's actually pretty darn strong, and it extends out. Gives me, I think, an 8-inch blade. I use it for cutting firewood if I need to. The biggest reason is, though, is getting into those elk pelvises when we have to crack the rear pelvis to a quarter. Okay, so next we've got our tag pack. This is actually a little item that I use. It keeps all of my licenses in there, my game tags, my hunter safety card, which you need out in the mountain. Fire starter. This is nothing more than a glorified lighter. Wet wipes. Kleenexes. This is a reflective blanket. I actually use this for 2 different reasons. If I ever need it, get stuck out in the woods, it'll keep me warm at night. But I primarily use it to help clean the elk. I will lay this out and lay my quarters on it, and when I'm done with it, I throw it away. It's 99 cents. No harm, no foul. Rubber bands, which I use for a variety of different things. Batteries again, and another lighter. This is my water filter. I'm really big on the Sawyer gravity feed water filters. I'm not a pump guy. The pumps are extremely large. They are not that heavy, but just take up a lot of cubic inches. Don't know what this is. Toilet paper. Gold Bond powder, which is a lifesaver, and for everything and anything that has to do with chafing or getting the moisture in your clothing, especially in your shoes. It's a lifesaver out there. Lighter. Ibuprofen. Lifesaver. Flashlight. A headlamp. I will use these in conjunction with each other. I like the headlamp when I'm going back to camp at night. And of course, if I'm going to clean the animal, it leaves both of my hands free. This is a must-have in my opinion. A little bottle of shampoo you get at the hotel. You cannot imagine how nice this is to wash your hair in a stream. It will make you feel like you took a shower. And I'm telling you, from a psyche standpoint, it's amazing. We got super glue. Need it for everything, especially cuts. It's the biggest reason why I have it. Paracord bracelet, which I'll use to put on when I'm heading up. An all-important spork. I'm an old guy. Reading glasses. Never have too much of this. Chapstick can be used for a variety of reasons, but the biggest one, you're in an arid environment with no moisture in the air whatsoever, your lips will get chapped. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Can't go elk hunting without these suckers. And these are elk calls, my bugle tubes. Is my multi-tool. Any multi-tool will work. Extremely handy. I highly recommend carrying them. They don't take up a lot of room, and you can use them for just about anything. calls, elk calls, and from a hunting standpoint, the second most important thing to your bow. And this is a windicator. This is powdered form. So you blow in the air and it stays in the air for quite a long time, which will help me get wind direction. You use this about every 5 to 10 minutes as you're hiking to make sure you're always going into the wind. And a knife. This is my rangefinder. Real important. My Jetboil Stove. I love these stoves. They're self-contained. My fuel canister is in here. The stove actually is in here. This wind-resistant frame down here at the bottom, you can actually light this in about 30 to 40 mile-an-hour winds, no problem, and it will stay lit. Boils water in 90 seconds. Carrying my 4 MREs. I've been blessed to work with Mountain Ops this year, and they're giving me these their new MREs, which are coming out in 2019. Rain gear. I use KUIU rain gear. I only take a jacket, and then I wear gaiters here. It really only leaves about this much of your body exposed. I can live with that. I've got a towel. This is my 2-man tent. I use a 2-man because I like to put my gear, especially my pack and my bow, inside the tent. You go 1-man, it gets very confining. It gets very uncomfortable. This is a dry bag. I'll use this dry bag to bring out a full elk boned out quarter on my first trip out. Come in very handy, and they fold up literally to nothing, take up no cubic inch space, super lightweight. Next is my sleeping pad. You gotta have a sleeping pad. For those of you who don't use it, you can use pine boughs, we'll do the same thing, but it's an insulation factor between the ground up on the mountain, which is extremely cool. This is my tent footprint. A lot of you can go without this. A lot of my hunter friends don't use them. I do because some of the environments we get in are extremely low brows, and they get a lot of spiny thorns. They can pop holes in the bottom of your tent. Once again, this is more of a nice to have, but I think it's worth it. My med kit, good for about 4 to 5 days. Is my sleeping bag. This is a 30-degree down bag. As you can see, it's extremely compact, weighs less than a pound. This is a nice compression case that comes in. I don't need any more than 30. A lot of guys have to have a 0-degree down bag. 30 keeps me warm, and if it gets colder, I just wear my base layers and I'm good. Here, 1 liter platypus bladder. This is my rain fly for the case for my entire pack. And these are my Caribou game bags, so tag system bags. And then this is my toiletry bag. It's waterproof, keep everything in here. I'm just gonna go through this very quickly, but this just has the essentials. Napkins. These are called Midnights. They're available at Walmart. They're a sleeping pill. Extremely helpful to make sure you can get a good sound night's sleep and not make you feel groggy in the morning. The mountain has a lot of critters at night. They will come around your tent. They're extremely curious. If you don't take these, for me at least, I can't get a good night's sleep. Toothpaste, more Advil, an extra wind checker, another shampoo, my toothbrush, and another lighter. And that's it. Other than that, I have an Osprey bladder. I love them. It's got a screw-on cap. I think it's one of the best on the market. Extremely durable. And the last thing, which some guys might laugh at, is a camp chair. One of those nice to haves. I've sat on stumps, rocks my whole career. I finally broke down and bought one of these things. They are incredible for your psyche, and also when you're having dinner at night. I highly recommend. And then attached to my pack here is my Havalon knife. I'm a Havalon guy. This knife weighs less than 3 ounces. It's replaceable blades, and in the knife pack I've got probably 15 to 20 extra blades that you can change out fairly easy. One elk, you'll probably use about 7 to 8 of these blades per animal, and they're extremely sharp, lightweight. I like orange. I highly recommend not getting camo. I've lost a lot of knives in the mountain in my past. But that's it. That's the pack. I think Chris and I are going to talk about the difference between what he does regarding the prepping community and their bug out bags, as they call them. So we're excited to see those differences, but I think there are a lot of similarities because I'm basically surviving and living on the mountain with this stuff on my back for 4 to 5 days at a time.
There are a very surprising amount of similarities. There are obviously going to be a lot of hunting implements that are going to be very specific that we typically in a survival or a bug out bag, inch bag that we would never bring. The grade isn't down for them, and the philosophy overall for a bag like this is a little bit different compared to survival bags. So right here on the outside of my pack is actually my Recurve Bow. This is the Phantom by Mandarin Duck. You guys have seen a full video review of this thing, and for the fact that it's a $100 bow, it actually does shoot pretty well for a recurve takedown. I like it because it packs down. I'm able to get my finger tabs, my arm guard, 12 arrows, strings, and every little thing that I need to keep this thing maintained in the field for quite some time, all in this little setup with the quiver. This is a fishnet trap. We actually got this in a battle box, but I love this for passive fishing. All you have to do is throw in some type of bait in the center, and it's designed to allow sea life fish to swim in, but it's very difficult, if not impossible, for them to get out. So for any newcomers to the channel, this is the Kifaru MUSKEG. This is my particular pack of choice because I have been doing a lot of research with through hikers and backpack hunters. I do take a lot of cues from backpack hunters, and this is going to be the 4th iteration of my pack. Sub 40 pounds. We are about 37 right now with everything, and I'm extremely happy with the weight. It's incredibly noticeably different. So right here we have 4 Mount House meals, and it's just to keep our calories up because you obviously don't know the situation that you're going to be in. All right, so this is my first pouch. We've got my jacket. This is from Uncharted Supply. This is an awesome insulated waterproof jacket. We have my Kaminga compass. It's a military grade compass. I really like this one. We also have some Bins bug spray, 30% DEET. Have a fire starting whistle that also has a ferro rod on it and a scraper. I love this thing. This guy got this from Fiberlight. It's pretty dang awesome. And now we're moving on to the other side. So what you guys see right here on the yoke are my Ranger beads. I got these from WAZOO Survival Gear. I'll actually pull this out so you can see it. But these are indestructible Ranger beads. So moving into this pack, we keep it pretty simple. We've got the GoFlow gravity water bag from Hydro Blue. We have a VersaFlow water filter in here in a 10-liter bag. In here, in case I have to use the restroom or my electrolytes go away, we have the hangover kit and the shit hit kit fill toiletry kits. The reason I chose the MUSKEG by Kifaru is this material is naturally water resistant, so it's gonna have to basically be submerged in water to start screwing up your pack. Coming in here, we're gonna start diving into my shelter and first aid contents. So this is the top layer, or the top portion of the inside of my pack. It's one big main compartment, and we have my shelter. This is the Go Camping hammock from Go Outfitters. I choose a hammock just to stay off the ground. They have some ultralight tents out there. They're really good, just like you saw from Scott's pack, but my personal preference is a hammock. Also, this is my trauma kit. This is the On the Move kit light by Survival Medical. It has a little bit of everything I need from my tourniquet, triangle bandages. And then we have some perimeter security. These come from 5th Ops. These are some tripwire alarms that use 209 shotgun shell primers. We have the screw eye holes, Kevlar thread. We have all the little things we need to actually set up a perimeter base camp. This is my bug out roll gear organizer from Canadian Preparedness. For the newcomers, well, you're about to get a little treat in how I organize the bulk contents of my gear. This particular roll, plus all the contents inside, we weighed it. It used to weigh about 19.2 pounds. Now we have it down to, I believe, 15.8, which is pretty freaking exciting. What I like about this pack is I can keep most of my gear right in a visual, organized fashion. This is the majority of the tools and gear for my survival bag. Now, if you want to see an extremely in-depth look, we're going to be actually dropping a link right about here in the top right-hand corner of the video. But we're going to go over this because I pretty much think we've beat this horse dead. So right here in this top compartment, these are match holders that actually have little compressed towels in there. So we have 28 compressed towels for toilet paper, face napkins, anything we need. We have an Ultrasil Sea to Summit 3-liter bucket so we can hold some water. We have 48 stormproof matches. We have an Inrit camp towel for any type of just keeping ourselves dry, cover from the shade, any type of insulation. We have some 40% DEET bug repellent. We have some super glue. We have a carpenter's pencil, so if I'm building any type of frog gig, spear, anything like that, I can save the blade on my knife and use this to get more symmetrical spikes in that situation. Have some shit kits, fill toiletry kits. We have the Soul emergency blankets. We have some spare ferro rods for my Lightning Strike fire starter. We have some Epic wipes to kind of give me a field shower. After several weeks of being in the bush or in an emergency, I can kind of wipe myself down. We have my headlamp. This is the H2R Nova by Olight. Then we have 4 18650s. I have some USB charge cables. We have 3 chem lights. We have a pot grabber in here, so when I'm boiling water with my cook set. We've got the ExoTac rip spool tool. It's got duct tape, fishing line thread, and a sewing needle to do any types of clothing or field repair. And this is also a field repair kit by Gear Aid. Ultralight, this is a backup first aid kit if I lose the main one or we use all the contents. I have a emergency blanket. Then this is a hammock / clothing field repair kit with threads, needles, and all those things that you might need. All right, so now we're moving on to the middle section. We have some emergency food rations. If I use up all my supplies of the freeze-dried food, I have these emergency rations that are kind of an absolute last resort. Then we have the Outdoor Extreme Energy, solar-powered external life battery. Then we have the Wax Wood Sticks high heat output fire starters. If I run into wet, flooded, nasty, cold conditions and I just can't find good tinder, that stuff is waterproof, impervious to elements, and will last forever. We have a reusable glow stick from the Tube Light. This is a redundancy to those Kim lights. Now, this is my secondary filter, water filter from Hydro Blue. This is the Sidekick. It is a 3-stage water filter with active carbonate and the hollow fibers. This is my main fire steel. This is the Lightning Strike fire starter from Holland Guns. This is probably the best fire steel on the market over the past 3 or 4 years. And then right here, this is more of for knife sharpening for my blades and tools, but this is also a fire steel in here. I have the Kabuya hand line by Emberlit Stoves. We have my little fishing kit with bobbers, lures, hooks, baits, all the things I need, plus an additional 300 yards of 15-pound Fluoroclear P line. It's probably some of the best fishing line you can get. Then there's my cooking setup. We're gonna do the same thing. I have the Emberlit Stove in titanium with the Bear Bowl, with some heavy-duty tinfoil in there so I can armor that bad boy up and it can take direct flame. We also have the Sprong set by Merkwares as well, so I have those long utensils so I can actually reach down. But if I find myself very lethargic or tired, I can't get enough calories, but I desperately need to keep moving, I have some military energy gum with some caffeine so I can hopefully keep myself motivated and moving in an emergency. Then if my shelter or everything gets taken away, torn down, stolen, marauded, I have an emergency Hex Tarp right here, along with a Shamog. But the only reason I decided to keep this in the pack is the fact that all in all it weighs about 7 ounces, so I would rather take the weight to have a backup shelter if I desperately need one. Last but not least, we have the heavy-duty tool compartment, which I keep basically most of the tools that I would have on me. This is the Holksbrook Almike. This is a Swedish axe. It's probably one of the best freaking hatchets on the market. Then we've got the Verostuleka Puko 140. For a $30 knife, this is probably the strongest, most robust, badass freaking bushcraft knife you could ever hope for. But then we have the Silky Big Boy 2000. We have some replacement blades and the folding saw. The reason why I picked this one is because it has a 14.1 inch blade. If I find myself where I have to start freaking homesteading and the apocalypse actually happened, this thing will give me enough saw material and length to actually build a full-on shelter if I have to. We have 125 feet of utility cord. That is a 125-pound test line. And then we got these from Tribal and Outdoors. This is jungle cord and desert cord. Huge bungee cords that will reach out to 11 feet. And the reason I chose these is if I need to have clothing line to wash my clothes, hang anything up, dry out some meat or plants or vegetation or food. This will help me without wasting any of my precious cordage. This is my full spread. Now, hopefully you guys can tell because you guys got to see Scott's build first, then this one. The philosophies are drastically different for drastically different reasons. We're kind of under the assumption that in a elk hunting or backcountry hunting backpack situation that you're going to be able to resupply at your base camp or go to a local store in town every few days if you need to. And this philosophy is built around the concept that you probably can't resupply. And so we want to give a huge thank you to Scott from Leading Edge Archery for taking the time to show us the differences between a traditional, what we call a survival bag, bug out bag, inch bag, and an elk hunting rig, the one he's taken out for 2018. And like you guys see, there's a lot of similarities, and there's some very specific things that we just wouldn't take, like elk calls or range finders, GPSs. Those aren't traditional items, but the bulk, I would say about 85% of this pack is something you would see in most kits or rigs or loadouts in the survival community. But that's just about for now, and if you enjoyed the overview, comparison, contrast of the elk hunting bag versus a survival bag, definitely throw this video a big thumbs up and share this out with your friends and family in your social media networks so we can keep growing, thriving, and making awesome videos for you guys. But that's just about it for now. Hope you guys have an absolute wonderful day. I'm out.